it's Caitlin. Today we are making easy roasted prime rib. For this video, I'm going to be using a bone-in USDA choice prime rib because it's typically what most people will buy. The first thing we're going to do is take our prime rib out of the fridge. We need to bring our prime rib to room temperature before we begin, otherwise it will not cook properly. So make sure you leave your prime rib out on the counter for at least 6 hours before you begin. You can't skip this step. Let's get started on our herb butter for the crust. Into a medium bowl, we're going to add 1 stick of softened butter. If you're dairy-free, you can use a plant-based butter. Next, we're going to add 4 cloves of minced garlic, a sprig of rosemary chopped, and about a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix together until well combined and set aside. Now that our prime rib has come to room temperature, we're going to preheat our oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to begin by patting our prime rib dry with a paper towel. Next, we're going to tie our prime rib into a tighter shape to help it cook evenly. Using some twine like I have here, we're going to run the string between each rib bone and tie it tightly with a knot. If you have a boneless prime rib, tie the meat from the same direction into a cylindrical shape. Now let's paint our prime rib with our herb butter. You can use a silicone brush or your hands. Just make sure to get all sides. And if you have a small roast, you may not need to use all of the butter. You can save any extra butter in your fridge and paint it on other meats like chicken or steak before cooking. And we're almost done. Now we're just going to season the roast with kosher salt. It's something you want to do by eye because the amount of salt really depends on the size of your roast. But generally, we're going to be adding about 2 teaspoons per bone. Make sure to sprinkle the salt evenly on all sides. Now let's get our roast into the oven. You can use a roasting rack if you have one, but you don't need to. The benefit of a roasting rack is the air that is able to circulate underneath the meat, which helps it cook evenly. We're going to place the roast fat side up and bone side down in the roasting pan. Before we place our prime rib in the oven, let's calculate our cooking time. Since cooking time is going to be different for everyone, we're going to break it down into a simple equation. To get our cooking time at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to multiply the exact weight of our prime rib by 5. And the number we get from that is going to be our cooking time at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, if our roast is 4.12 pounds, we're going to multiply 4.12 by 5, which will give us 20.6. If you're left with a decimal like that, you're going to round up. So then our cooking time would be 21 minutes at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Once your roast is done cooking at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, turn off the oven and keep the roast inside the oven for 2 hours. Do not open the oven at all during this time or the heat will escape and it will not cook properly. This technique has been around for decades and it will give you a perfect medium rare prime rib every time. To carve the roast, simply remove the twine by snipping it with scissors. Then, if you have a bone-in prime rib, cut the ribs off the meat as I am showing you here. You can save those for another meal. Then place the prime rib cut side down and slice into 1/2 inch to 1 inch size slices, depending on how many people you are feeding and your personal preference. Enjoy and Merry Christmas! And there you go, that's how you make my easy roasted prime rib. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you have a family Christmas tradition. Check out more of my videos over here and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you and I will see you next time.